So, Campfire Chronicles Night 2 at our new place. So, we've gotten lots of new digs. Got a camp chair today, a replacement backpack for the one that I got in Los Angeles, new shoes, new clothes, a striker for the fire, a headlamp, all kinds of wonderful things to make our existence here easier. So I left my mark on Slab City, obviously, after 5 years. Pretty significant. Apparently, my spirit in Los Angeles on the streets made a difference. The people who kept just one little half in front of the mission clean, they extended to the entire front of the mission and around both corners, keeping it clean. I don't know if they maintained it. But then I saw the difference on Miami South Beach, where the park rangers and police officers basically would just harass anybody trying to rest or lay down there during the day. No sleeping in the park, city ordinance, to families coming out and picnicking, couples picnicking, children playing, and political-wise, like we know in Southern California, the Mexicans had taken over, which this isn't about race. This is just how America's been pieced out. They've said it for years, and just conspiracy theorists, blah, blah, blah. Well, now it's just playing out in the open. So in Southern California, we had the Mexicans taking over. In Miami's South Beach, and basically Miami itself, is taken over by the Cubans. They were protesting the park and everything. And ironically, or not, the regular working Cuban who had come over like 6 years ago, and he's living on the streets for whatever reason, is different than the Cuban vacationing on South Beach, who has lots of tattoos, so you know he's been to prison. He's only been in Ohio for a month, working as a massage therapist, getting paid $300 for gig, massaging people, going to their homes, and already vacationing on South Beach. And the Arabs who convinced the Mexicans in Imperial Valley to quit growing food for people and grow hay for their horses instead, because in the Arab countries it's illegal to grow food for animals that are not livestock. So their horses, they're not allowed to grow hay in the Arab countries for their horses. Well, they're on South Beach and like shoving money in front of homeless people's face. This poor kid sitting on the bench. The Arabs like got a fistful of money. I've got money. And the homeless kid's just ignoring them. They were going through the schizophrenics that nobody wants to acknowledge that happens in all the high-tech areas. It was very evident on Miami Beach amongst the affluent. But it's not apparent here, where people are surrounded by trees. And trees have been known to thwart the 5G waves. So that's probably why people up here have no clue about the mental breakdown that people had in other parts of the country. So up here, they've got the gangs on the streets. Like, that's just happening everywhere in the United States. But it's nice to not experience the racism that I did in Southern California or in Miami, not being Mexican or Cuban. And as far as my influence here, again, I don't try to do things or change things. I'm just trying to survive and find circumstances where I can thrive. But obviously my presence is different, and we'll see how that goes. Woke up to another neighbor who was yelling at himself, and he obviously went through schizophrenia, because after he left, I was waking up from a nap, and the in-betweens, where they try to instill fear as you're coming awake or trying to fall asleep, I heard, "This is the police." And I didn't feel any fear, so that's how I knew it was an in-betweens thing. And he left first off. So I haven't met the man that supposedly was camping out by the head of the river path. He may no longer be staying there, I don't know. But tonight we have chicken and egg noodles and bread with butter on it and fresh salad. I love it. Shitty human being of the day. I just left camp, so we were all refreshed. Anubis was fine, but she was panting because it's warm out. And some guy, he pulled up, and he thought giving me $2 gave him the right to tell me I had to carry my dog up the hill, and did she have water, and better watch out for the police, because if I don't have water for my dog, then they're really hard on people like that, and blah, 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 blah. Anyways, he just sat there. So I sat down on the grass at the library. I produced some water in a bowl for Anubis, put it in front of her. She wasn't thirsty because she had already had something to eat and drink. And just waited for the guy to be prompted to move by the traffic behind him. Even some dude in a jam-packed full of trash car who gives me $2 wants to be a bully. And I'll tell you what, I'm not into being bullied these days. And I'm proud of myself for that. Because any other time I would have felt obligated, like I would have gone with the implied strings attached to things. And thankfully, I'm over that. And I'm focused on the good people who are doing good things for us. And as much as I don't like being the center of attention, or people knowing what I'm doing and I'm trying to stealth camp, a few people in the neighborhood have been told I'm here and will be looking out for me, making sure nothing happens. So that's a blessing. Try not to be embarrassed, because, embarrassment's not good for the soul. But there we go. Campfire Chronicles, and a catching up of the politics that I see around me. And apparently Alec Baldwin and people like him have moved here and are making it more difficult, like for people. You can't have somebody stay in the camper in your backyard for more than 30 days, and you can't have people pitching a tent in your yard and all of that. So they're dealing with their own political takeover from wealthier people. And I'm going to stir my noodles so they don't burn on that side. And let my fire go out as quickly as possible. So we don't get any unnecessary attention. Because I know the guy who works for the fire department. I met him. And he's got an eye for the area and where he's smoke from. And he is not wrong, even though to me it looks like mist. Because of the humidity. Definitely not like Slab City fires. So, over and out for this Campfire Chronicles at our new spot.